This is Global Family in Fukushima. So one of our more recent videos, the video about my stay in hospital, we had at the time of filming this already 850,000 views and lots of likes and lots of comments. So thank you very much. It was much more popular than we were expecting. そこでたくさんのコメントをいただいているので、そのいただいているコメントからなんか質問とかに対してお答えしたいと思います。So for our little YouTube channel, it was actually Papa Hiroshi's idea to start it. So he does all the hard work. He takes the videos and does henshu, editing, and all that other stuff. I help with subtitles, and we both try to respond to comments we get to any videos we put up. But so it's a family effort. I was trying to think of the right word. I was like, 家族 effort.
So not just you.
No, it's not just me. It's not just my channel. Although I do most of the talking. Mostly because Hiroshi is very nervous and doesn't talk very much. And that's fine. You have to have the talkative one and then not the talkative one in a relationship, right? Ciao, no?
Sorry.
Nani?
Wasn't listening.
So Hiroshi has picked up a few comments from the video that we'd like to talk about today. So take it away, babe. 緊張。どうぞ。
一番多かったのはお大事にって心配の声と早く元気になってねっていう応援の声、多かったのでその辺まずどうぞ。
ありがとうございます。徐々に良くなってますので It's going to take some time for me to get completely better, and recently I've been very tired very easily, but still getting better day by day. So thank you so much for all the positive comments. 本当に応援ありがとうございます。これからもよろしくお願いします。チェック。なんかかわいい。
じゃあ、あとお金の話？
お金の話？
保険とか心配してくれた人もいるけど、現状とか説明お願いします。
Well, particularly for people who are not from Japan, they should explain that Japan has very good social health care. So we are all in some kind of social health system, and the system specifically depends on whether you're working or not, or how many hours you're working and so on. But either way, for most people, social health insurance covers 70% of costs, and then the remaining 30% you have to pay. But on top of that, for very expensive costs like hospital stays, there's also a なんだっけ高額医療 like expensive medical cost, like that's literally what it's called. Expensive medical cost, like special system that you can apply for, which sort of puts a cap on how much your costs can be. So I applied for that as well, so that brought down the cost significantly. And then on top of that, fortunately, we have private health insurance as well, 医療保険. So I was able to get some money back from that. So we're very lucky. We probably worked out about even or with no out-of-pocket costs. So thank you for everyone's concern, but we're very lucky, so it didn't cost us a lot of money. I should also mention, オーストラリアだったらオーストラリアもなんか似たようななんか社会保険みたいなものがあって It's called Medicare。 なんか何割とかなんか特に決まってなくてちょっと複雑でもあるんだけど、どの医者に行ったらどのぐらいかかるのはちょっとバラバラのはあるんですけど、無料で行けるところもあればお金かかるところもあればで、ちょっとprivate and public ちょっと分かれてるところがあるんだけど、まあ日本に似ているところもあるので It wouldn't be that different if I had it done in Australia or Japan. But the big thing that is different for Japan is that we have the 健康診断 yearly checkups for free, which I don't think we have in Australia. You can get like a checkup from your doctor, but I don't think it's free and it's not something you automatically do every year. So I did say after we found this for me, I did say I was very lucky that we're living in Japan because we found it so fast because of the yearly health check. So that is one thing that may have been different if I had lived in Australia at this time. I don't know when we would have found it. I'm sure we would have found it, but I don't know how much longer it would have taken. But yeah, for financials, not so bad. We're very lucky in Japan, and especially since we have private health insurance, we ended up with very little to no out-of-pocket costs. So, thank you. あと何？
気になったことあった？
So, I live in Japan and I have 永住権で、日本人と同様税金とか保険とか年金を払っているので、日本人と同様です。外国人だから何か違うっていう感じではない。でもまあ他の外国人はまあ日本で働いてる限り同じです。日本で働いてれば年金税金と保険を全部払います。でまあ旅行で来てる場合はまあこれは日本人が海外に行った場合も同じなんだけど、旅行保険でもし万が一入院とかなんか必要だった場合はその旅行保険で対応するので、日本人だから外国人だからっていうところは特にないと思う。Does that make sense?
I think so.
I think people keep making weird comments about like I'm a waste of tax, but I don't know what that means. I pay taxes the same as everybody else. I'm just the same as you. I just look different. でそのうち日本人になろうかな。
そこで日本好きでいてくださいとかずっといてくださいっていうコメントがありました。
Yes, I do love Japan. I'm just started my 10th year in Japan for this time anyway. 日本が好きです。で、今のところはオーストラリアに住むために帰る予定はない。日本は中学校の頃からずっと好きで、一回高校1年生になってから日本に来て、もうまた行きたいってこのビデオでも喋ったけどでいい日本が好きです。でもう今回来てから9年も経ってるし、永住権も持ってるのでこれからもよろしくお願いします。
あと結構コメントあったのは病院食について、ちょっと言葉が足りなかったというか表現の仕方が難しかったかなっていうのはあるんだけど、改めて説明お願いします。
So I think some people misunderstood what I meant, or maybe I didn't word it very well, but I like Japanese food. まずはそこ和食が好きです。ただ体質的にあんまり炭水化物をいっぱい食べれないのがあって、日本食和食がご飯が多い、炭水化物は基本的に多いのでそこがちょっと心配だった。あとhospital food, I think any country is the same. No one really thinks hospital food yummy. So at first I was a little worried, but actually the food itself tasted quite good and I was pleasantly surprised. I thought there would be more foods that I didn't particularly like, but I was quite happy with the food itself. And when I went, 最初に行った時に食べれないものがありますかとか話があったので、その時は朝食なのでご飯ちょっと少なめでお願いしますって言ったら、そこで 150g になりました。でも私は自分でご飯を測って食べようとしたら 80g しか食べれないので 150g はちょっと多かったので、そのうち100にまた減らしてくれた感じですよね。なんで全然なんていうの、 They did listen to me and they did try to like adjust the food depending on my なんていうの、好みなんていうのdepending on my needs. which I didn't expect, because I mean hospital food, they have to make it for so many people. Like I didn't really expect them to be okay, for this person will do this, this person will do this. So I was pleasantly surprised about that too. There was also like you could choose to have bread for breakfast, which I did too. And also there were like special meals you could choose for lunch. So you just pay an extra 100 yen, I want to say off the top of my head, for like a different meal for lunch. So there were plenty of options. So I think that was really good. And as hospital food goes, I think it was very good. But for me personally, I have found after a lot of trial and error that my body responds better to having 5 small meals a day than to having 3 larger ones. And in Japan, that way of thinking is still not very common. 日本では1日3食で間食はダメっていうのはよく聞くんですけど、私の体質としては1日5回食べて、でもちょっと少なめにして、で間食っていうよりも間食って言ったらおやつっていうイメージがあると思うんだけど、まあ私が朝ごはん食べて、で10時頃になんかゆで卵とかヨーグルトとか野菜とか野菜スティックとかなんかそういうのを持って10時と3時の時にもうちょっと食べて、であと朝昼晩も食べて。And that seems to suit my body better. If I only have 3 meals a day, I tend to get very hungry and I tend to put on weight. But if I eat 5 smaller meals a day, it seems to suit my body better. So I was a little worried about that going into hospital because I knew I would only have 3 meals a day. And I think some people think I was snacking a lot, which I wasn't. I don't know why people think that. But I do find that I can only eat a small amount of food in one go. So I can't eat one big meal and then wait a long time and eat another big meal. I need like smaller amounts but more regularly. So that might have had something to do with my weight loss because I couldn't eat a lot in one go, but I also didn't have food in between. So I don't think that's a bad thing. I think everyone is different and there's lots of different people who have lots of different needs for how they eat, and that's just me. And of course I don't expect a hospital to cater to all those different types of and styles of eating, but the food was much better than, I'll be honest, much better than I was expecting. So it definitely wasn't by any means bad. So I was very lucky, I think, and I just want to make clear that I didn't not like the food, but there was too much rice for me personally. Does that answer it?
I think so.
Okay.
あとそれにちょっと関連するかもしれないけど、入院すると体重落ちるよねっていうようなコメントもあったけど、そこはどうですか？
落ちるよね。体力が落ちるし、筋肉も落ちるので、なんかずっとなんか普通の運動量と比べると全然動いてない感じ。特に手術終わった後すぐに起き上がることができないし、で特に肺なんでなんかすぐ疲れる。ちょっと歩いたってもう無理みたいな感じになるので、体力落ちるのは当然と思う。もちろん手術したすぐ後に普通に食べれるわけにもないので。Not so much because I didn't eat all of the food. Well, I wasn't eating all the food, but that was more because I was still recovering from surgery and my body was just not ready for me to eat a full meal. I was a little bit surprised. My first meal after surgery was karaage, and I wasn't really ready for like an oily food. I would have preferred okayu, but for some reason that wasn't an option.
いつもは唐揚げすぎだけどね。
Normally I would like it, but that was my first meal after surgery. So I was a little bit like, I can't really eat this right now. Like my body just was like, no, we can't do that right now. After a few days, I was back to eating normal foods and I was back to appreciating katsu and that kind of thing, which we did have in my hospital food, which was nice. But yeah, so obviously between the meal situation and surgery and not being able to move as much, I think it's quite natural to lose weight while you're in hospital. So it wasn't unexpected, but I think I lost more weight than I was expecting to. And I think a lot of people were surprised by how much weight I lost while I was in hospital as well. Does that answer the question?
Yes.
You guess. Good to know.
あとコメントでそのコメントくれた方とか家族が同じ病気でしたとか入院とか手術の経験ありましたでも今は元気ですみたいな励ましの言葉とかもいっぱいもらってます。
力強いね。Obviously, I don't know anybody who has this illness personally. I guess that's not obvious, but like in my family, like there's a few people who've had surgery, but it's never been for anything lung related. So I was a little bit unsure, I guess, and a little bit. I mean, 不安になるのは当然だと思うんだけど、それ経験して回復してるって言ってる方がいて、すごい心強いって感じました。ありがとうございます。
あとは肺のとこだから、コロナ特に気をつけてくださいっていう声とかありました。
そうね。そうだね。もともと喘息も持っているんで、プラスこの結核抗酸菌症プラス手術なんで、かなり肺が弱ってると言えるかなと思うんですけど、I have a lot of different problems with my lungs, so I want to be particularly careful not to catch corona. I don't think that would go well. っていうのかな。重症化しやすいタイプかなと思うので、手術の後ちょうど3週間ぐらい後でワクチンの予約取れてたので、その1回目で先週は2回目を打ってもうすぐ効果が出るかなと思うので、絶対にワクチンを打とうと思いました。ちょっとかかったら大変なことになりそうなんで、I'm a very strong believer in vaccines, and what they can do to protect us. And some people may disagree with that, and that's totally fine. You do you. But for me personally, knowing my own risks, it was very important for me to get the vaccine, and I was very lucky to have had it. I finished both times in August, and Hiroshi as well, he was able to have his both done in August, so hopefully that will help protect me and our family from catching COVID in the future. Yeah. So that's the end of part 1. I apparently talked too much, but we also had so many comments and so many questions that we still have some more to go. So we'd like to end this part here, and then we'll see you in part 2. Okay?
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Please.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Can you wave bye-bye? Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Yes, like that kind of.